Hey lambs, Kai is back for that midweek rant. And boy, do we have a rant today. Before we begin, I want to remind you that this episode and all my episodes are sponsored by my Lamb Patreon. If you want to get daily Kai rants, then head on over to Patreon, patreon.com/loveandmurder and become a Lamb Patreon. Starting at only $3 a month donation. We would love to have you in there. So let's get into this midweek rant. An Ohio teenager is accused of murdering her boyfriend's mother after she told him, "You need to kill her." In April 2023, authorities got a call to check up on Nicole Jones in Toledo, Ohio. Nobody had seen her for a while, and so they wanted police to go and check on her, make sure she's okay. When police got to the house, they couldn't find 53-year-old Nicole, and they couldn't find her son or his girlfriend. In the investigation, they found out that the girlfriend, whose name was Kaitlyn Coones, had gone missing from her foster home on April 11th. Apparently, people in the foster home said, oh, she went and moved in with her boyfriend, 33-year-old Jonathan Jones. She's 17, by the way. At the time of this case, she's 17. So speaking of Jonathan Jones, in March, he pled guilty to endangering children and attempted to commit pandering obscenity involving a minor. Basically, what that means is Jonathan had sex with a minor at a Super 8 motel when said minor, Kaitlyn, was 15 years old and in the custody of child services. He was also accused of taking pictures of them having sex, which he planned to distribute. So basically, he had pled guilty to this and he had been convicted. So at the time, he was on probation. Now, after Kaitlyn moved in with Jonathan, allegedly she told him to kill his mother. She didn't like the mother because the mother disapproved of their relationship with that huge age gap, 15 and 33. So she figured, hey, your mom's interfering in our relationship, she gotta go. And what investigators think is that Kaitlyn was actually living in Jonathan's bedroom and Nicole didn't even know she was there. So Kaitlyn gave him this ultimatum, kill your mom, or I guess I go, I don't know. And she said, you literally have 5 hours starting now to kill your mom. Quote, Kaitlyn had told Jonathan that they needed to do something about his mother because she was preventing them from being together. And she gave him 5 hours to do something about her. And at one point in the interview, she even mentioned killing her. This was a quote from Sylvania Township Police Department Detective Jake Albright. So in that 5-hour time, Jonathan couldn't kill his mom. He just couldn't bring himself to do it. So Kaitlyn was like, oh, you pussy. And she decided she was going to do it herself, allegedly. Because this whole case is still ongoing, everything that I'm saying here is alleged, is my opinion, comes from articles, and is for educational purposes only. I'm not trying to be sued. So according to prosecutor Andy Lastra, Kaitlyn attacked Nicole. It doesn't say whether it was from the front, from back, if she just ran up on her. But like I said, Nicole didn't even know she was in the house. Her son didn't kill her. And Kaitlyn just ran up from nowhere and attacked Nicole with a rock and then strangled her to death. Quote, she went outside, retrieved the rock, and when Nicole Jones was standing in front of the refrigerator in the kitchen, unaware of Kaitlyn's presence, bludgeoned Nicole Jones a number of times and strangled her. Okay, so she ran up on her while her back was turned. Coward. Not saying it's good to do it while you're facing the person either. Either way is coward, but at the time she was doing this, Jonathan was allegedly in the living room and just sat there and let it happen. You couldn't do it, but you let it happen. It's your mom, dude. You're a 33-year-old grown-ass man. Are you kidding me? You're letting a 17-year-old dictate what you're about to do? So they did this. Well, she did this. And then Jonathan helped her, allegedly, dispose of the body by throwing it into a dumpster at an apartment complex. That dumpster then took the trash can to a landfill. Nobody was the wiser. After this, they fled to Mexico. While they were driving to Mexico, Kaitlyn called her caseworker. Quote, while she's on the road, she calls a caseworker to inform that she had done something terrible. So after she said that, the caseworker called the cops. The cops then ran to Nicole's house. This is the whole welfare check. Quote, what they find matches almost exactly what she has explained as the crime as it occurred. On May 8th, U.S. Marshal Service's Missing Child Unit was able to find and apprehend Jonathan in Chihuahua, Mexico. Do you know how they were able to do that? Well, remember that Jonathan was on probation, and usually when you're on probation, you have an ankle monitor? Well, 33-year-old Jonathan didn't know that the ankle monitor has a GPS, and he didn't disarm the GPS, so they literally just pulled up the app and was like, oh, there he is. He's in Chihuahua, Mexico. My God. So they went and arrested them, and Kaitlyn went to trial, and it was ruled that she would be tried as an adult. She was charged with aggravated murder, tampering with evidence, and abuse of a corpse. Jonathan is also facing charges in connection with his mom's murder. However, it's unclear whether he's gotten an attorney or he's going to speak for himself. I really hope he gets an attorney. I mean, either way, I don't want him to get away with it, obviously, but just for his sake, I hope he gets an attorney, because if he is dumb enough to let a 17-year-old kill his mother and then help her dispose of the body and then jump in a car and go to Mexico, I mean, I wonder if he has developmental problems, because if he does, I can't be sitting here calling him dumb. I wonder if something has to be wrong with him, that he thought all of this was sound. And then on top of everything, he forgot he had a GPS attached to his freaking leg. Something has to be wrong with him. I'm just preemptively thinking that. It's nowhere that it says something's wrong with him, but I think they need to do like an IQ test on him before his trial. So yeah, that is today's rant. Oh my God. So, there's so much to unpack here. This 17-year-old didn't like that his mother, this 33-year-old guy's mother, and that's another thing. Not saying it's bad that he still lives at home. Something has to be developmentally wrong with him. Again, I'm not just saying just because he lived at home. It's just a lot of the things. Like, he allowed this little girl to tell him what he's going to do. He knew he didn't want to kill his mom, but he allowed her to kill the mother. He, without question, helped her to dispose of the body. And then, like I said, it's baffling my mind that he had a GPS attached to his leg, and that didn't ring a bell in his head. And then the culmination of he was still living at home. Again, not saying that's a bad thing. It's rough out there. So if you're still living at home, I'm not judging you. But with everything that I'm thinking, I wonder, they really need to do an IQ test on this guy. He might not be all there. And something's wrong with that girl. I mean, she was in the foster system, so maybe she already has emotional problems. I'm not saying like she has mental health problems, but she may have emotional problems. Maybe she was, I don't know. I think they need to do a psych test on her, and they need to do an IQ test on him before trial. Well, she's already been to trial, so before sentencing for her at least, and then before trial for him. Anyway, these are just my thoughts. I want to hear from you. Let me know what you think in the comments below. I did promise that with each episode I was going to do a poll, huh? Okay, for this one, the poll question is going to be, do you think that Jonathan Jones has a developmental problem? So that's going to be the poll question. Go over to the polls, answer it. I want to hear from you. Other than that, leave me your thoughts in the comments below. I want to hear from you either way, the poll or the comments. That's all I have for you in today's midweek rant. I'll see you in the next episode. Bye.